a certified strength and conditioning specialist and a graduate of the Candor Sport and Strength Conditioning program. Really excited to be working with everyone, and I'm hoping that we can have a really enjoyable time together and learn some things along the way. So we'll jump into it now. I'm going to start today with a little program overview. All the documents from today are going to be available on the Google Drive that I've shared in the chat here. So if you miss anything or if you want to look over something again, it'll all be there for you moving forward, along with the recordings, of course. So before we get into today's session, I just wanted to give kind of an overview about what this program is and what the purpose of it is and how I think it'll benefit you. So upon completing the program, my hope for anyone doing the program is threefold. So I'm hoping that you'll have an understanding of the foundational pillars of improving your physical health and wellness. The second one is that I'm hoping that you will know how to safely and effectively perform a variety of exercises. And third, that you'll be able to carry out a training program that is tailored to your desired physical health and wellness goals. So my belief is that if we can accomplish those goals together, that moving forward in the future, you'll have a really solid foundation underneath you to kind of pursue your physical health and wellness. Anything that I can do to kind of help facilitate those goals outside of the content, I encourage you guys to engage in the chat or message me outside of the sessions. I'd love to make as much of a contribution as I can towards that for everyone taking part. So moving into the start of today's session, the theme of today's session is starting with the macro. So what I mean by that is looking at the bigger picture first before we start to get into the smaller details and start thinking about different decisions and how we're going to pursue this or that. Starting looking at the bigger picture is a really great way to kind of get your feet underneath you and have an understanding of what you're doing, why you're doing it, and what things are going to make up the majority of your effort towards your physical health and wellness. So as you all may know, there's a lot of marketing and advertising in the health and wellness industry between supplements and training fads and all of these types of things. So a lot of times people end up getting caught up in that, and they go from this thing to that thing, and they never really make any progress, kind of get into this cycle of restarting and of having to start from scratch, and kind of this perspective where the progress that you've made from the past doesn't really matter. So we want to change the perspective from going from one thing to the next to taking like a long-term sustained effort at improving your health and wellness and all the things that kind of go into that. So with that being said, there's a rule that's really relevant to what I'm talking about. It's called the 80-20 rule. It's also known as the Pareto principle. So that principle says you'll get 80% of your results from 20% of the action you take. That's kind of how I perceive this program and the foundations of health and wellness. So that's my goal for what we're going to do, is to give you the 20% that's going to get you 80% of the results, and from there you can kind of customize it to your own personal desires and goals and whatnot. So with that being said, let's take the time now to zoom out, and we're going to start with a common theme that you've heard time and time again in different aspects of your life, and it really does apply, especially in taking care of your body and pursuing your physical health and wellness. So to understand, or to begin, you have to understand why you're going to be taking this step in your life. So in other words, what is your purpose? Why is it valuable for you to take the initiative to take this course, to apply it to your health and wellness goals? Why is it important for you just to be physically healthy? Like there's has to be a reason, some sort of belief, some sort of guiding, idea or ideal that'll kind of give you something to lean back on when you're, questioning why would you work out today, or why are you going to, have this routine that contributes towards this. So it's really, really important for someone to understand why they're doing this, and it gives you that kind of, like I said, we're talking about a foundation today. It gives you that foundation. So in the Google Drive, like I challenge you to write down 3 reasons why you want to improve your physical health and well-being, why you want to learn about it and apply it and take action in your life. So just for me personally, I'll share my 3 just to give you all, a little bit of context. For me, being active really plays a big part in my self-care and how I feel about myself. So it has a lot to do with my self-worth and how it contributes very positively to my mental well-being. So, stepping aside from the physical benefits, that really matters a lot to me. It's a really great way, has been a really great way for me to challenge myself. And I really enjoy that kind of pursuit of personal improvement. So resistance training has been a really big part of my life in that sense. And the next thing is all of the health benefits allow me to be a good father, a good partner, and a better person overall. So I really think that, actually I should say, like, the reason why I ended up in this career path is because I can feel and I've experienced a lot of the benefits that come from taking the initiative to do these things. And so I really want to pass it on to others. So having, put this time and effort into my physical health and well-being so far in my life and seeing what it did for me, and then taking the chance to become educated and going to Canada and getting my university degree afterwards and getting my designation, I now have the ability to kind of pass that on to others. And I really value that. And I hope that you all can find some of the benefits that I've experienced over the years. So that's kind of those are my 4 reasons why I take the time to invest in my physical health and well-being. And I challenge you guys to write those out, and just so you have them and so you understand. Sometimes you might surprise yourself while you're writing them out. You might realize, that it really is more meaningful to you than you may have thought previously. So with that understanding, I want to move towards the macro of application. So we were kind of talking about like the really big picture, the kind of philosophical sense of, why you're doing this. But now we're going to move towards the action steps. So again, the Pareto principle, like what 20% of the action is going to lead you to 80% of the results that you need, that will give you everything that you need to kind of have control of your physical health and wellness. So the number one thing here, if you ever have a chance to have a conversation with someone who, has really invested in their physical health and has really reaped the rewards of it, consistency, it comes up time and time again. It's one thing to do a workout today and never do it again. You can kind of understand how that might not be that beneficial. However, if you manage to be active consistently, regardless of how much you exert yourself on any given day, building that habit of being consistent and building that habit of being physically active and pursuing your physical literacy is the absolute cornerstone of finding your way in terms of taking care of your physical health. So like I'm saying, not every day or week or month will be perfect or even ideal or even anything that you might necessarily even be able to be proud of, but being consistent adds up. So on that bad week, getting out for that one walk, if you're used to going for 2-hour resistance training workouts and you manage to go for a walk, you manage to get active a few days or do a few push-ups or a few sit-ups, like every single time you have a bout of activity, it's kind of like a brick in your foundation into your, building this house of your health and wellness. So there's no workout that isn't good enough to contribute in a positive way, so long as you're exercising in a safe manner. Anything and everything from going for a walk to playing basketball to squatting really heavy weights to throwing a ball around in the backyard, all of those things contribute to your health and wellness. It doesn't have to be insanely strict regimen that you have to follow to a T to be happy with. It's all about just continuing and being consistent and building that habit of always trying your best to invest that time and energy into your physical health. The next pillar is nutrition. So we're kind of moving outside of the actual physical realm, but taking care of what you put into your body. If you can exercise often, you can do everything right from that perspective. But if you're eating way, way, way less than your body requires, or way, way, way more than it requires conducive to your health and wellness goals, you're not going to end up getting the results that you want. So taking that initiative to learn, what your body requires and what you need in order to fuel it in the way that will, produce the results you want is highly, highly, highly important. And without it, it's going to be hard to kind of make the strides that you would like to make. We're going to talk a little bit more about nutrition down the road, and as we go through these educational components as well. So the next thing, the third pillar is recovery. So getting enough sleep and rest is essential to repairing damaged tissue from exercise, ensuring you have the energy to complete your day. I mean, again, some of these things are kind of, obvious, but at the same time, they can't be understated. I'm talking about getting the most of your results out of these kind of four things. It's really, really, it can't be understated. You have to rest, you have to recover. You can exercise well and you can eat fairly well. And then if you get 3 hours of sleep a night, you will not be able to continue, moving in the right direction. So getting that rest, it's different for everybody. There's not a time that I'm going to say that's going to be like checking that box. Usually, 6 or more hours is kind of something that gets tossed around, but it is different for everybody. But just making sure that you have that downtime, you're getting good sleeps, and that will really contribute positively to your health. So, I mean, again, it goes without being said, like it's hard to get through a day of work or a day of life in general. But if you have these goals with your physical well-being, it goes even more, goes beyond that, to have enough rest and be recovered and ready for your next bout of exercise, or for your, to complete your training program or to work towards those goals that you've set out. The last pillar is education. So it kind of ties these things in together. The human body is a fairly complex system, and taking care of it is a lifelong skill. So it's something that, you're never going to know everything, and you don't necessarily need to, but you have to understand, have a foundational understanding of your body, how it works, and what you'll need to do to create those adaptations that will change your body and your physical health and well-being in the ways that you're looking for. So if you just, commit to consistently having those bouts of exercise that are in line with your goals, or even just enough to be physically active and kind of check that box, it's going to go a long way. You have the foundation underneath you, but with eating consistently in a way that, again, aligns with the goals that you have for taking care of yourself, and you're getting enough rest, you're already like far along the path. You don't need to restart. You don't need to go from this thing to that thing. If you're doing those things, you're doing it. Now, optimizing it and changing around what you're doing in order to get towards those goals that you've set out is another thing, but that's really the foundation. And then continuing to, educate yourself and understand the different factors that go into this. Well, if you're checking those 4 boxes, you have all the tools that you need to kind of move forward and really pursue the goals and the type of physical health and wellness that you're striving towards in your life. So I just really want to stress that, you can take this supplement, or you can go on this diet or that diet, you can take this training program or that training program. But if you have that foundation under you and you're being consistent, like, you're going to be moving towards those goals. And so really, really sounds kind of, it's just kind of par for the course kind of advice, but it really, really is valuable. So I hope that everyone listening will take that to heart, and we can use that as our foundation for moving forward. Before we start we're going to get into the actual training session now for today. If anyone has any questions or dialogue or anything that they would like to add to before we get into the actual workout, I'd love to hear it now. So I'll just give a few seconds for anyone to throw a message into the chat there, and then we'll get set up for our workout.
Yeah, I love the approach, Logan. I like how you started off the session with why are we doing this? Why is pursuing fitness important to you? And I love your contributions there and why it means so much to you. It really made me stop to think as well. So nice job.
Awesome. Appreciate that, Mike. It's it's really it's good to start off from from the ground and work our way up. We can get into technical things and concepts and everything, but there's really not that valuable without this foundational aspect.
So true. And if you know why you're doing it, that adds to the motivation to pursue it. And those are real hard reasons to get involved with taking care of our physical health and all the different offshoots. So yeah, nice. I don't see anything here from Garrett. So yeah, we're all good. Good to move on.
All right. So bear with me here. I just want to make sure my camera is set up. I'm going to move back a little bit. Please feel free to pipe in if you're having trouble hearing me. I want to make sure that I'm clear, but I'm also going to be back a little bit there doing the exercises myself. So. Okay, so for today's training session, we're going to start out with a warm-up. We're going to do this. We're going to work through 4 movements in the warm-up, and then we'll move on to the main part of our training session. So the first thing that we're going to do is called diaphragmatic breathing. So we're going to take 10 connected breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, and we're going to be trying to fill our belly up with air as much as we can. So just let your stomach descend. And the reason why we do this is because it fills the lungs with oxygen in a more complete manner than just shallow breaths through your chest. So we'll start off with that. All right, so now that we've taken our 10 connected breaths, we're going to start our physical warm-up, starting to move a little bit and raise our heart rate. So we're going to start off with some very simple movements. The first one being the leg swing. The second one being some arm circles. So if you have space to find a wall and face towards it. If you don't have space to swing your leg from side to side, what I recommend doing is doing some lunges. So I'll just demonstrate those really quickly. So step your foot out, give yourself some width here, and just drop your knee down and back up. And we'll do 5 of those on each leg, trying to keep your torso very upright if you don't have the room to do the leg swings. Okay, so if you can do the leg swings, you're going to face the wall, and you're going to swing your leg across and up. We're going to do 10 on each side. And the goal here is to keep the body nice and straight and just let the limbs swing from side to side. So keeping kind of everything else rigid and then swinging the leg from left to right as much as you can. 10, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Next, we're going to do some arm circles. So one thing that's really important is performing these warm-ups with intention. They're very simple, but you want to do them in a way that is using your body in a biomechanically advantageous way. So for the arm circles, actually put your arms up to the side and just kind of squeeze your shoulder blades together behind your back. Keep your chest away from your chin, and then just nice and strong movements, elbows locked out, and just trying to be really consistent with the way that you move. So we're going to go 10 backwards, 10 forwards, trying again, keep the shoulder blades squeezed, back towards, together. And then now we're going to do bigger ones. So we're going to do 5 forward, as wide as you can, taking up as much space with your arms as you can. And then the same thing backwards. All right, and then we're going to go through one more round of the leg swing and the arm circles. So again, back over here. Okay, the other side. And again, we'll go back into the arm circle. So again, shoulder blades pinched together, nice and rigid in your arms, small circles. About 10 of these again. Back the other way. And then 5 bigger circles. As big as you can, taking up as much space with your arms as you can. Back the other way. All right, now we're going to take a little break for a second. We'll take about a minute break before we get into this session. So again, with the warm-ups, it's really important to perform these movements with intention, doing things consistently well, making sure that you're moving really well. It's something that we're going to get into more as we go on through these sessions. So really, really pay attention to detail. Try and do everything really consistently. We have one more part of our warm-up. The next thing that we're going to do are just plank holds in the push-up position. And why these are really important is it gives us an opportunity to understand bracing. So I really want you when you're doing these plank holds, it's not about holding them for a really long duration. What's important is that you feel what it feels like to have your core muscles locked in place. So we're going to get down into the push-up position. And then I want you to try and flatten your body in a nice straight line, and then pull your hips towards you and squeeze your glute muscles and just kind of hold them in place. Feel the brace in your core. And we're going to hold this for between 10 and 20 seconds, whatever you're comfortable with. Okay? We'll take a second and then we'll do that one more time and we're going to get into our training session. Okay, we'll go again. So get down in that push-up position. Try and get your body in a nice straight line from your shoulders to your toes. Pull the hips forward and engage the glute muscles and squeeze your abdominals. And we'll hold this for 10 to 20 seconds again. I also forgot to mention if holding in the push-up position is challenging for you, you can do it in the push-up position on your knees. I'll demonstrate that quickly right now. So same exact concept, but now you're just thinking about the relationship between your shoulder and your hip as opposed to going all the way down to your feet. So down in this position, feet up, and then again, a nice straight line between the shoulder and the hip. All right. So now we're through the warm-up. The training session is going to consist of 3 parts. Basically, what we're going to be doing is 2 exercises at a time for 3 sets, and then we'll go down into a little cool down afterwards. As we go through, I'll be doing my best to provide alternatives for anybody performing the exercises that might have a challenge doing the movement as I'm describing them. So we'll just, I'll take a second to kind of give those alternatives as we're going through the session. So for the first set of exercises, we're going to do what some call an air squat. I like to call them zombie squats because you have to hold your hands at shoulder height. So yeah, call them zombie squats. And another exercise called bird dog holds. Again, some of the exercise names are a little bit silly, but they are definitely beneficial and have their purpose within a training program, especially one that's based around body weight training. This is a good time now to say that we will be adding some resistance in different ways as we go through, but today's session will be just strictly body weight. So at the end of the day today, we'll talk a little bit about what kind of implements we're going to use moving forward, so that anyone doing the sessions can have them prepared going into the next day. All right, so we're going to start off zombie squat and bird dog holds. I'll walk you through them and go from there. Sorry, just trying to make sure that my camera is at a good angle for everybody. All right, so zombie squats. Feet slightly outside of shoulder or hip width. Toes turn out slightly. Hands out in front of you, and the goal is to keep the torso nice and upright while also lowering your hips as low as they comfortably can while maintaining your feet being flat on the floor. So start here, hands out in front, push the knees out to the side, keep your torso up, sit all the way down, and come back up. So between 5 and 12 reps, wherever you feel comfortable. Really important, keeping the feet flat and the torso nice and upright. 2, control yourself on the way down, and push back up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so now we're going to go into the bird dog holds. So it's really important here. You're going to start out on your knees and your hands, and then you're going to extend your opposing opposing leg and arm as far as you can, and then we're going to hold in that position for 5 seconds or as long as you're comfortable moving. Start out on your hands and knees, get your back nice and flat, and then you're going to extend out fully, and once you're here, we'll hold this position for 5 seconds. You want to keep everything still except for the limbs that are moving. Try and put them back, put your foot and your knee, your knee and your hand back down at the same time. Extend, hold, and then back down together. If you're having trouble performing the bird dogs, you can just do it with just reaching only your hand out or just reaching your leg out at a time. As far as the zombie squats go, you can assist yourself with a chair, just like so, and lower yourself as much as you're comfortable, and then come back up. Or you can do it without the chair, but to whatever depth is comfortable. So if you're only comfortable getting down here, that's good for now, and then we'll try and just, as you get more comfortable, try and get a little bit deeper. But it's really important to keep your feet flat on the ground. That's a really important aspect of the zombie squats. So again, we'll take about a minute rest, and then we'll do another round of this, and that's how we're going to work through the session.
Awesome. I'm feeling that in my lower back, Logan.
In your the bird dog holds, eh?
Bird dog, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you're doing it with us, Mike. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Doing my best in this small office, but I've been able to do all the exercises except for the leg swing so far. Yeah,
and that's though I didn't realize how much space the leg swings take up until I was doing them. I'm almost getting to the wall on either side as well. So
There you go.
I've like had this like cleared out space to try and do stuff in. I'm trying to be respectful of the fact that I don't really know where everyone doing the session is checking in from. So we'll make sure that everything has an alternative as we kind of go through.
Excellent job. Yeah, much appreciated.
All right, so we're going to go back again for the second round of the zombie squats and the bird dog holds. So again, between 5 and 12 reps, challenge yourself appropriately. We'll be hands out in front of us, and again, really focusing on keeping the feet flat. So. All right. And so you'll have to forgive me. I'll get more used to this as we go along, but some camera angle issues as we go through. Moving on into the bird dogs again, making sure we're extending the limbs fully. So start on your knees and your hands. Opposite arm, opposite leg, out and hold. And back at the same time. Really try and keep your core nice and tight, so engage your abdominals as you go through the movement. Here. There. Awesome. So again, we'll take about a minute break and we'll go again for our third round. And another important aspect of the bird dog holds is you don't want to extend your hip too much or kind of reach up too high with your arm. What you want to do is kind of keep everything in a nice flat plane so that your leg, your shoulders, and your hand are all kind of in a straight line, making sure you're not overextending one way or the other. Okay, so we'll go again back into the zombie squat and the bird dog hold. This is going to be our last set. So if you're feeling comfortable with the reps that you've been doing so far, and you want to try and challenge yourself a little bit more, feel free to do a few extra ones. Or alternatively, you can also do a little bit of a pause in the bottom position before you stand up. So for the zombie squats, or you can hold the bird dogs a little bit longer. Either way is an option to kind of challenge yourself, and we'll kind of talk about different ways that you can increase the intensity of the movements as we move through them. So give that a try if you're feeling good about your effort so far. Scale it back a little bit if you're having a bit of a hard time, or keep it the same if you just want to keep her going. And last set of zombie squats. I'm going to do a little pause in the bottom for 2 seconds. 1, 2, back down. 1, 2, back up. 1, 2. Really try and keep the hands at shoulder height. Keeps the spine in a good position. All right, on to the last set of bird dog holds. Really aim for that nice and straight line between the hand and the foot. Back. There we go. So we're through part A of our training session. We're going to move on to part 2. So this next segment is going to be lunge pulse. So a lunge in place. and a Mcgill Sit Up, which is a variation of a sit up. That's a very healthy for your spine. A lot of abdominal exercises and core exercises tend to involve a lot of flexion and extension. So, either turning your spine like this or too much like this, and that isn't really healthy for your spine in the long term. So a lot more neutral, maintaining a neutral spine through these movements is a lot healthier. And so this man, Stuart Mcgill, did a lot of research into healthy core exercises, and this is one of his creations. So when we go through it, I'll show you. Just kind of it's a very small movement, but it's keeping your spine nice and neutral and kind of creating that flexion like in the musculature of your abdominals, as opposed to just kind of moving your spine back and forth. So that said, we'll jump back into it here. So lunge pulse, really important. Actually, I'm going to go from the side. Really important to create some width between your feet so that you're not kind of walking a tightrope. This will give you some stability, so it's easier to move up and down. So take a nice big step out, a little bit to the side, nice space between your feet, and you're going to drop your hips straight down, bending your back knee to facilitate that, and try and keep your torso, again, as upright as you can. So here. Sorry, we're going to do 8 on each leg. I apologize. I gotta switch legs here. So up and down, same thing, torso nice and upright. 8 on the side. Keeping your hands on your hips is good for your stability as well. You may have to excuse me, sometimes my counting of reps isn't so great when I'm coaching. So if you see me do 10 when I say we're supposed to do 8, listen to what I say as opposed to what I'm doing. Okay, so for the Mcgill Sit Up, what we're going to do is we're going to lay flat on our backs with one leg or 1 foot up in the air, or sorry, up, scooch towards our butt, and the other leg laying flat. So make sure that it's easy to see here. So you got my right leg like this, my left leg flat, I'll lay back. I'm going to reach my hands towards the ceiling, but not forward, just straight up. Very small movement, just taking your shoulder blades off the ground. 6 on each side. So now we switch legs. Same thing, hands just towards the ceiling. Very small movement. All right, we'll take a short break and then we're going to go for our second set. How's everyone doing so far?
Yeah, doing good.
Awesome. Good to hear, Garrett. I think the furnace might be on in my basement or something like that. Maybe we're just working up a bit.
Same with my office.
Yeah, the old furnace up there in your office, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's go back into it again. We're gonna do we'll do 8 lunge pulses on each side, giving everyone a range of 5 to 12, if whatever feels comfortable for you. And same thing with the Mcgill sit-ups, 6 to 10 per leg, and there's no shame or anything in doing less than that if it's challenging for you. It's just you're at where you're at, and we'll keep building on it. That's going back to that concept of consistency. It's just a matter of continuing on along the path, and so there's no judgment or anything for where you're at. Just being here and putting the time and effort into it is an excellent step towards anything that you desire in terms of your physical health and wellness. So we'll go back into the lunge pulses again. Similar to the zombie squats, I apologize. I haven't done the assisted version yet. Similar to the zombie squats, you can use a chair for the assist for the lunges. So you get the most support if the leg away from it is in the front. So you kind of hold yourself like this. If that feels easy, you can challenge yourself a little bit more by having the same leg on this side, okay? You can also use the wall for support if necessary. For the Mcgill sit-ups, if you're having trouble kind of getting your shoulders off of the ground, just reach and try and pull yourself up as much as you can. No problem with the amount of range of motion you have. Just do your best. So again, we're in the lunge position here, nice and wide base of support. We're gonna do 8 and then switch legs. And switch. All right, and then we'll move into the Mcgill sit-ups again. Here. And straight up, elbows extended. Reach towards the ceiling. Six, and then we'll switch legs. Same thing. All right. Okay, we're through the lunge pulse and the Mcgill sit-ups. Sorry, we're going to do one more set of each. We'll take a little break here. One kind of as we sit in these breaks, try and think of something to fill the silence. So try and give any sort of advice I have about these movements, or about just kind of how to conceptually think about your training session. So rest is a really important part of exercise. There's a lot of programming that has essentially zero rest built into it, and that's hard. It's not very sustainable sometimes, and is also not necessarily the right thing. So it's important to recover between sets, that your body can move in have the movement quality and move in an effective and safe and biomechanically advantageous way. As you fatigue, those things kind of start to take less priority over just getting through the movement. So really good to take your time between sets and move well. And now as you get more comfortable, taking managing that rest factor and increasing the intensity by having less rest can be valuable. But you definitely want to start by taking a good amount of rest between your sets and kind of build that conditioning up in a sense, so that you can still move effectively when you do want to reduce the amount of rest time. That being said, we'll get into our last set of the lunge pulse and the sit-ups. So again, nice and wide base of support. Hip down and back up. Good. That's 8. Switch sides again. That's 8. We'll go into the Mcgill sit-up now. Last set. Hands up towards the ceiling. Nice and small movement. Contract the abdominals. All right. Great work. So now we're going to get into our last 2 exercises for the day. So chair dips. If you don't have a chair and are comfortable doing a sturdy chair, like I'm thinking that Mike might be in an office with a wheelie chair, you can use the edge of a table, Or you can alternatively could just do push-ups either in the kneeling position or in the regular push-up position. But for the chair dips, you just we're going to put our feet out as far as we can, lower ourselves, keeping our elbows nice and close to the body, and perform the reps in a nice and slow and controlled manner through the biggest range of motion that we can. The second exercise is the mountain climber. So you're in a push-up position, and you're going to bring your knee up towards your chest on one side, and then switch it out for the other side. We're going to do 5 reps on each side. So I'll take a second here, and then we'll get into that. This is the final segment of our training session. And I think this, for everyone taking part, kind of goes to show that, while it is great to have access to all sorts of equipment, that you can really have an effective training session with just your body weight and some simple household items. So we can get a lot done. It's a matter of, just putting the time in, making sure that you're moving well. And as long as you can, have that movement quality and put the time and effort into that physical activity, you can have productive sessions, and you can really work towards your goals, even if access to a gym isn't an option right now, or if your preference is to work out at home and you can't, for any reason, you don't have equipment available to you. This is there's a lot. There really is a lot that you can do to challenge yourself just with your own body weight. So that being said, we'll get into the chair dips and the mountain climbers. So trust the chair here. We'll put our hands kind of behind us. We'll sit down, walk our feet out, and just keeping our elbows nice and close to our body, lower ourselves towards the ground. You kind of like bend your knees to keep yourself off of the ground as you go through. So chest up, head forward. Six, 7, 8. Good. Now we're going to switch to the mountain climbers. I think I have to pull my camera down. My apologies. So again, push-up position, just like we were talking about before, we want to have our body in a nice and straight line. Alternatively, you can do this off of your knee if you're struggling to hold the push-up position. You take this knee, pull it back a little bit, and pull it towards your chest. Pull it back a bit, pull it towards your chest. So we get into the push-up position. Bring the knee up, nice and strong hold here. Put it back down, other one up. Really try and keep everything in a straight line. So don't want your hips to kind of move side to side. Nice and strict. All right.
For the mountain climbers, Logan,
Yeah.
We should be feeling that mainly in our core as far as keeping us stable and in a straight line?
Mainly in the abdominals, yeah.
Okay.
And again, kind of like a really good kind of rule of thumb for most movements is you're always kind of trying to keep your torso in whatever plane you're moving in, whether you're horizontal or if you're standing vertically, that you want it to kind of be in that same line. So if you're squatting, you don't want to be leaning forward too much. You want to keep your torso fairly upright. When you're in the plank position, you don't want to be leaning off to the side, kind of like this, right? So always trying to kind of keep that stability by staying in that position through the movement is a good rule of thumb for all the stuff that we're doing.
Makes sense.
So again, we'll do another set of the chair dips and the mountain climbers, and then we have 2 more, and then we're going to go into a little cool down, and I'll be wrapping it up for today. Again, sit down on the chair, walk the feet out, little bend in the knee, lower yourself as far as you can comfortably go. Back up again to add difficulty, a pause in the bottom, or adding more reps are both good. 2. We're going to do between 5 and 10 here, so I'm going to do 8. Great. Now we're going to go back into the mountain climbers. Again, working to keep that the torso nice and still, and only be moving the limb that the leg that we're moving for the rep. So nice and rigid. One knee up towards the chest, toe pointed up too. Really important to have your toe pointed up towards your chest as well. All right. So yeah, it's again, like I was saying a bit earlier, it is you can definitely have a very challenging workout with just using your body weight. And there's many different physical there's many different types of goals that you can kind of pursue using just your body weight, whether it's getting stronger or improving your conditioning or your aerobic capacity. And basically, if you just put the time and effort into moving really well, you can tailor the intensity and the volume to kind of match the outcomes that you're looking for. So it's really a lot you can do just being at home just by yourself. So yeah, Garrett, thank you. I appreciate that comment. It doesn't seem very intense when you look at it. You're right. Like I've been doing this for a long time, and I've definitely spent a lot of time doing really heavy resistance training sessions. And this session gets me. I'm breathing heavy. The blood's pumping. I'm tired. I can feel the muscles I've been, the muscles that we've been targeting, and it's productive. It's really good. So I appreciate that affirmation of that. So that being said, let's get into our last set, and we'll get into our cool down. All right, into the mountain climbers. Get nice and rigid first. Awesome. So we'll just take a second here before we move into the cool down. I'll go over the 3 movements we're going to do for the cool down, and then we're going to do 2 rounds consecutively to wrap up the session. I'm kind of happy we're like perfectly on time, which is cool. I didn't know how that was going to go. I'll take that. Excuse me. So we're going to do 3 movements in our cool down. The half straddle hamstring stretch. So you're going to be sitting with your one leg folded in towards you, leaning out over towards your other leg. We're going to do roughly a 15-second hold. We're going to transition into a reaching hip flexor stretch. So kneeling, pushing the one knee forward and reaching up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to go into child's pose, a really popular yoga pose or recovery pose. We're going to hold that for 30 seconds. So round 1 will take a minute. We'll take just a few seconds to transition, and then we'll go back and we'll do it one more time. And that'll wrap the session up for the day. So yeah, really been enjoying getting the chance to speak on some of these things with everyone here, and to do the workout as well. I've been having a lot of fun. So thanks everyone for giving me the opportunity to do this and for joining along. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the sessions through the semester. So let's get into that cool down now. So half straddle means you're going to pull your one foot in towards your midline. You're going to reach out towards the other side. And with this, any position you're comfortable in, you know, kind of get there and then just breathe really well into the nose, up to the mouth. So a good way to make this more challenging too is to point your toe back towards you while you're doing the hamstring stretch. Good here, we'll switch sides. Okay, now we're going to go into the kneeling hip flexor. So I'm going to get nice and square here. Put it in front of you, a little bit of extra width. Excuse me. And then you reach your hands up into the air and lean forward, really trying to push this hip kind of back and squeeze this glute on the backside here. So pushing this down and up. Now reach up. If it feels really uncomfortable, reach up. Keep your hands here. Hold this for about 15 seconds. Same thing, like as you breathe, you kind of want to try and lengthen through here. So keep your hands nice and straight up and elbows locked out. And really try and let yourself fall back on, or fall towards that front leg and kind of push that hip down towards the ground on the backside. And come back onto our knees, switch out, other side. Same thing, a little bit of width here. Kind of fall down into that front position. Also, my toes are on the ground here as opposed to my foot being flat. That's another way to kind of moderate the stretch. It'll be a little bit easier with your foot flat, or like the backside of your foot down. Again here, hands up straight in the air. Drop that hip down, push forward onto the front foot more. Very good. We're going to child's pose, so sit down on the backs of our legs, reach our hands forward as far as we can, and then drop our head down between our shoulders. Really important, if you breathing well through here, feels really great, so take some big breaths through your nose and out through your mouth. Okay, come back up here. Just take a second, if you're coming back upright, they'll transition back into that half straddle hamstring stretch. So sit down on the ground, one knee towards us, lean out over the toe pointed back to you, increase the intensity of the stretch, so strong through here. Breathe in the nose, out the mouth.
Is Grandma down here?
No.
Where is she?
I'm just on a call here. Sorry, one second.
Oh, sorry, man.
It's okay. That's all part of doing this stuff from home. Never know you got a special guest. We'll switch sides. All right, we'll go into the half kneeling, or the kneeling reaching hip flexor stretch. So here, push the knee forward, drop the hip down, reach straight up towards the ceiling, and again, breathe through the position. So. Switch. Reach up nice and high. Again, really try and focus on keeping this nice and square this way. Kind of have a tendency when you're fatigued to kind of like lean off to the side, supporting your hip. All right, now we'll go back into child's pose, and this is the last movement of our session for the day. All right. Excellent. So thanks everyone joined today, and for everyone watching going forward. I hope you enjoyed the session. Before we get going, first want to talk about the kind of extra implements that we'll be using to create resistance in the sessions moving forward. So the first thing I have here is we're gonna that can really kind of expand our exercise catalog is a dowel. So it's just a like basically a broomstick. It can kind of there's a lot of exercises you can do regarding your posture and your stability, and some movement quality stuff that you can do if we have access to a dowel. Next thing, just a simple ball. So this is a soccer ball. I have a medicine ball as well. Either or, doesn't matter. Some really good stuff we can do just by having a ball available. Again, a chair which we use today, and then lastly, just like a shaker cup, something like this. Either one or two of them, so we can do some kind of like simulated dumbbell in a sense. Oh, and excuse me, the last thing is a backpack that you can fill with something, kind of between like 5 and 20 pounds, like a few textbooks or just books in general or something. Books are the best just because they kind of create a more consistent surface. But yeah, we're going to use that to do some kind of like offsetting movements and just to create a little bit more resistance that way. So shaker cup, dowel or broomstick, ball of any sort, kind of soccer-ish size, basketball, volleyball, medicine ball, whatever it may be, and then a loaded backpack. Take those 4 items and we can really start getting into some even more challenging resistance movements. So yeah, if you have those available for the sessions moving forward, it'll just add another dynamic to these at-home training sessions. With all that being said, again, thank you guys for, I apologize. Thanks everyone for coming. We really have to work on that. I'm looking forward to doing more sessions with everyone moving forward, and I'd like to open the floor for a few questions before we get going. No problem, Garrett. Thank you. I appreciate having you up.
I'll see if anyone is going to post any questions here. I just had a comment. It was a great session, Logan. I really enjoyed it. I did a lot of movements that I've never done before, and I could feel it. So I knew I was probably doing them pretty close to properly. I really enjoyed your point of emphasis when you said, even if you can't get the range of I'm paraphrasing, the range of motion that you'd like in these exercises, just trying to do them activates those muscles, right? It's good enough to begin with. You'll get to that point eventually, which is shameless plug here, but from one of our facilitators in our gentle yoga program said something along the similar lines. If you're trying to do the exercise and you're doing it properly, it doesn't matter how far you get to begin with, you're activating the right muscles that'll help you progress forward. So I like that point that you made.
Absolutely. Yeah. The movement quality is next session, actually, we're going to talk about kind of, the kind of foundational concepts in the micros in terms of like within the workout. And that's one of them, right? Is just like focusing on movement quality absolutely first and foremost, and then progressing from there. So the really important subject that we're going to get into as we move along through this, but absolutely just moving as well as you can through the range you're capable of, and then, working towards, improving or lengthening those positions as you progress, right? So Garrett, this workout is, yes, the session is going to be every week on the Wednesday through the rest of the semester. I believe there's 10 more sessions, so however far we get along the semester when that ends.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Garrett, for joining us. Thanks for everyone else who's participating as well. Really do appreciate it. These are great sessions. The first time we've done this at Canada, we're lucky to have Logan with us. And as you can all see, wealth of knowledge here. Yeah, looking forward to the next session. Any closing remarks, Logan?
No, again, just really happy to get to do this for everyone. And I want to again, provide that foundation for everyone participating and seeing this to, work towards their own physical health and wellness goals. So any feedback, any questions, anything like that can, contribute more to that, I'd be more than happy to hear from everyone. And yeah, thanks again. And I'm looking forward to next week.
Amazing. Okay. Thanks, Logan. Thanks, folks.
Excellent.